What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT, that's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we are going to step on a couple of toes. You might even get in your feelings after this episode. But we're going to talk about this real quick. Why do older men and women get so mad at the younger generation and we the one that raised them, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. You often hear older people say the kids of this generation, the kids of this generation is soft. The kids of this generation is lazy. The kids of this generation is so disrespectful. But who raised them? Look in the mirror and you'll find out. But a lot of our frustration comes from expectations not being met. Expectation that we have for our children, but we didn't set up the foundation in order to produce what we wanted to see. See right here, Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart. Are we actually doing the training, or are we talking? Are we actually showing them, or we just talking? Are we actually disciplined, or are we just talking? Are we actually showing them the love, the respect, the attention that they need to have, and the way they should act as an adult? Or are we just talking to them about it? And we're not showing the role model that we want to see. But then let's be honest. Sometimes we just train them wrong. Sometimes we just raise them wrong. And a lot of people don't want to take accountability for that. And a lot of folks are out there suffering mentally, financially, spiritually. People are locked up, they lost their lives because a lot of parents won't accept accountability on how they raised them. They raised them wrong. A lot of stuff they showed them when they was younger. Let's go there for a second. And if we just being honest for a second, sometimes we didn't get taught well. So what we didn't get taught well, we didn't deal with it, and we try to work through things the way that we should work through things. So a lot of those children growing up in environments and they seeing mom and dad, they might not be married. They might just be shacking up. They might just be boyfriend and girlfriend long term, and there's no real commitment there. So since it's not that kind of commitment there, mama out cheating, daddy out cheating. They see the kids, see them fight, see them cuss at each other, be disrespectful towards each other. Then they be manipulative towards the kids. Well, you ain't got to do what your mama say. You ain't got to do what your daddy say. And so the child is torn in between. So the child is seeing a dysfunctional family. They seeing a dysfunctional family and the way that it's functioning. And that's what they're learning. So then when they get out in their household and that dysfunction that they have been taught, they didn't get no love. They didn't get coming out the parent-teacher conference. They didn't get you going out on field trips. They didn't get, let's have this conversation on, let's see what's going on with you. They didn't get the proper correction when they did something wrong. See, the generation that's coming around now, I remember when I was younger, I had, I'm just say a young man that I talked to, and his mom at the time, she was on drugs. She was smoking crack at the time. And he said that the reason that he got on it is because his mama introduced it to them. She had them smoking, and so they end up being on it too. Because let's be honest, some parents didn't ever get over what they went through in their life. So instead of trying to fix their kids, they inflict more pain on their children because they had to go through it. So since ain't nobody listening to me, ain't nobody venting to me, I'm going to make sure that they feeling the pain that I felt. I'm going to make sure they going through the similar things that I went through. And guess who raising them? Us. Them children that went through there, they went through all that. Now they have children. It can be 50-50. It don't always end up like that. But for the majority, if the majority is doing wrong and they showing their kids all this wrong stuff, what you think the next generation gonna do? It's just gonna get worse, and it's just gonna get worse. And then you got many absentee fathers out here. Not that they was trying to be absentee fathers. They might have got caught up in the system, got caught up in the streets, got caught up in drugs. And then sometimes when people go to jail, it don't necessarily mean that they did something. I ain't gonna say that they do something wrong, but sometimes they could be wrongfully convicted or something. And we done saw it many times that these guys that went to jail, they didn't do what they said they did. They found new evidence, and now they done spent 20, 30 years in jail. They get out of jail, they give them a little money, go on about your way, but they done lost all this time in their life. Some of their children have grown all the way up. They done lost all this significant time in their child's life from the first time they said their first words, when they first started walking, the first time they rode a bike. For all the first things that a child could did, they missed out on that. Just because they was wrongly convicted. Or just say you was out there kicking it, drinking, smoking, and you just want to focus on your child. You saw your child growing up, but a lot of stuff you was missing because you was so focused on being out there kicking it. Being out there, want to be seen, want to be clean, want to be fresh, want to be off in females' face, want to run different females. That your child is growing up, you forget about your child because you're just thinking about yourself. When we raising our children, and if you're not instilling certain qualities within them, how you think they're going to act when they go outside the home? How you think they're going to act when the behavior that they're displaying is not a good behavior, but you laughing at it? You can look on the internet where you got countless amount of children cussing. Oh, they laughing in the background. You got parents, this little boy saw his mom, she just twerking in front of the public with everybody, which that's if that's what she want to do, that's what she want to do. But this young man get a chance to see his mom twerking, it hurt his feelings because he don't want his mom. I ain't saying that the mom was wrong, but in front of him, it looked like they was at a wedding reception, and in front of everybody, she twerking it up and everything. He was embarrassed. He was hurt by it. They laughing at it because he crying. Because he don't want his mom to be seen like that. See, we laugh about our children, little cute things that they do that might be wrong, and we laugh about it. Then when we get older, we end up crying about it because potentially it's something that we could have fixed and we didn't fix because we thought it was funny or we was too busy living our own lives. And now that they're older, how can you get mad and say, oh, well, they disrespectful, when you never showed them what respect was? Oh, they don't listen. You didn't ever listen to them. Oh, they think they know it all. When you could have took out time to talk to them to really see where they was coming from instead of you got all the answers to everything. See, it's a two-sided thing. And a lot of the kids, y'all brought up these kids in some of the terrible environments. Some kids, man, I went out to some elementary and talked to some of the teachers when we was looking at schools for our children to go to, me and my wife, and the teacher was saying that some of the kids that came in, they ain't had no running water. They ain't had no soap. They couldn't even wash their clothes. The teacher was taking some of their clothes to home, washing the clothes, bringing it back, letting the kids come to school early so they can wash up so the other kids won't talk about them. So you got a child growing up in that type of environment, and you want them to come out respectful, loving, get good grades. They hungry. You ain't got no food in there. They barely got clothes. You're not budgeting the money right. And these kids, you sending them to school dusty in front of other little kids, stinking in front of other little kids, hungry in front of other little kids. And them other little kids, you know how kids are, they mean. So they going to talk about them. They going to hurt their feelings. Now they don't want to go to school no more. But The parents, y'all are the one that are doing this to them. Now, granted, is there some children out here that cut up? Yes, absolutely. You're right. But for the most part, let me say this. You know how you go to the doctor and the doctor will say, "Hey, it's in the blood. It's passed down through the blood. If you got high blood pressure, do it run in your family? Cancer, do it run through your family?" That asks you multiple things or multiple asthma, do that run through your family? That asks you all these different conditions, do it run through your family? Because it's coming through the blood. And a lot of these situations, they can be passed down, and some of that other bull that y'all do be passed down too. It's passed down from generation to generation, and somebody got to break the cycle. Smoking cigarettes, going to jail, drinking. Some of that be passed down. I might be wrong. I haven't did any research, and I might be wrong. But most of the people that have habits, they ain't just forming themselves. Somebody and their parents or whatever, they did it first. Their grandparents, they probably did it, and those habits trickle down. But the funny thing about us parents is that when we do get ourselves together, this is a big thing right here. When we do get ourselves together, instead of letting the child know that one time we was wrong, one time we was messing up, one time that the mama was whoring around, sleeping with different men, but now that she married and got a man, she wondering why her daughter doing the same thing. You did it. Dude, you wonder why your son want to sleep with different women? You did it. You wonder why your son want to smoke weed? You did it. You wonder why your son going to jail? You did it. See, we become so self-righteous when we get our life together that we forget to tell our children that we messed up too. We did wrong too. We want to have this perfect image to our child, like, I ain't never did nothing wrong. I always got everything right. I got all A's on my report card. Only reason you got all A's on your report card because you put a slash on there to turn that F into an A. That's the only reason. But in this thing called life, everybody done got an F in something in this thing called life. And if you lying to your child, say you never did nothing wrong, I never did this, I never did that, how they gonna know what God can do? I let my children know what I did and how God can redeem you. How he can change all that, how he can take you away from all those things. The child sitting up there trying to be perfect in front of you because you done gave them this perfect image that this what you gotta be like. Nah, I messed up too. I tell my children I messed up. I show my children I messed up. But I also show them how I got up and I changed my ways for the better. And the father you see in front of you now, I didn't just get to this place. I wasn't always like this. I got to this place. I worked to this place. I prayed to this place. I humble myself to God to get to this place. That's what I say to them. I don't sit up there and just lie to them. Hey, yeah, I ain't never do this. I ain't never do that. That's our problem. And so we as parents, we really gotta be able to show that side of our children too. Some of us so old that we forgot what we did wrong. We so right now that we forgot the wrong things that we did. Don't be so holier than thou that you forget what you did in your past. And now when your child do it, oh, you shouldn't have did this, you all down on them. Instead of helping them through the exact thing that you did and helping them through it, you want to criticize them like they so wrong for what they doing and you did the exact same thing, or you did something similar or just as worse as what they did. And I understand getting on to them, and that's rightfully so. But understand it's a part of parenting that not only getting on to them, but teaching them how to learn and grow from the mistakes that they made. The lesson within that. You be so quick to criticize and talk and this and that, and you don't teach them a valuable lesson that could be taught within that time, within that situation. You lose it because you want to argue. You want to just chastise. That's it. You don't want to build. You don't want them to learn from this situation and be a better person after. You just want to make sure I'm right. See, I told you not to do that. Aha, yeah. That's what some people be want to feed their ego just to be right so bad that you lose your child. You lose your child. See, and then right now, technology is big. I love my children to death. They love technology. So when I first started this podcast, I wasn't just into technology like that. I wasn't just innovative of looking for different things like that. That wasn't me. But what I found out was, look, my children are good at this, so I pulled them along. They showed me a lot of things. I learned a lot of things. But within that, I was able to teach them things while they were showing me. So while they were showing me different things, I used that time. They knew the technology. I had the wisdom. We swapped out. So within them teaching me stuff, I was giving them wisdom on life and using it with the technology that they showed me. I was tying it in with life lessons, talking their lingo with the technology and teaching them life lessons with it. And I was appreciative of them coming and showing me this. And me as a father, my pride and my ego went high enough to not ask them to help me out. See, in the technology world, they moving fast. They know every new thing, everything that's going on, they know it. So by them knowing that, okay, let me tap into what they got going. Let me tap into that. So we built a bond. We already had a bond, but as far as this technology, I started talking to them about it. I wasn't afraid of it. Started getting on different platforms as far as the social media. Yeah, on Instagram, Real Men Talk Podcast, Facebook, Real Men Talk Podcast. Yeah. And so that's what I started to do. And so one thing us as parents, we got to recognize is this. We're going to have to acknowledge the fact of the mistakes that we made. See, our pride and our ego sometimes want to accept the mistakes that we made with our children. Sometimes we don't want to accept it. Sometimes we don't want to accept the fact that I could have did this better in this area. I could have been a better parent. I could have parented more than give them things, than buying them things and just spoiling them. I could have been a better parent by teaching them certain lessons that now they'll be okay, even without me. But I spoil them so much that they think that the world's supposed to give and the world's supposed to bow to them. So now they have that mentality going out here and they realize the world is not going to bend to them. The world is not going to bow to them. And they come back to you because you haven't taught them life lessons. It's a lot of kids out there, parents moved around, never settled nowhere. They never got a chance to make real friends. They jumping from school to school. You're not able to pay your rent. You're not paying your rent. You losing cars. They don't have any stability around them. Then you expect them to get out here and be a functioning adult, be able to be responsible and take care of what they need to take care of. And they haven't been taught how to do it. But you mad at this generation. But you haven't shown them anything. A lot of the parents haven't shown them anything because they was too busy wanting to live their own life, chasing their own ego, chasing their own dream, looking for self. They're just trying to fulfill their own selfish ways. That's it. All about me. And since it's all about me, my child have missed out on a childhood that I could have gave them because I was so selfish. A lot of times it ends up is that we just selfish. And so to the parents out here, let me ask you this. Have you apologized to your child? Like all the stuff that you did, if you know you weren't no good parent, you know you didn't do what you need to do, have you apologized? Some of them can't because the child gone. Some of them in prison. Have you visited them and said, look, I raised you wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't do what I need to do as a parent. I'm sorry. I didn't do what I need to do. I didn't show you what I need to show you. I'm sorry. I wasn't the parent that I need to be, and I'm sorry. You know, I got this right here. Luke 15 is about the prodigal son. Y'all that don't know about the prodigal son, just go read about it. But it's a young man that asked for his daddy, asked for his inheritance. His daddy gave his inheritance. He left. He blew it out there in the streets, drinking, smoking, women, blew all this money. And he ended up being a servant. And one day he was at a trough where some pigs was at, and he was so hungry he was thinking about eating out the trough, and he was like, the servants of his daddy eat better than this. And that's when he went back home. So when he went back home, instead of his daddy being mad about what he did, instead of his daddy got to chastise him or say, yeah, I was right, you shouldn't have went out there, his daddy embraced him and loved him and was glad that he was back home. Some of us get so mad at the mistakes that our child or our children are going to make that when they come back to us, when the world done tore them up and they just need the love from us, we treat them worse than the world treat them. Because our words cut a little deeper because they think that we love them, and that's the place that they can definitely get some love from. But when they come there, here they go. Here you go. It says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. I ain't saying that your child don't need to be corrected in some of the things that they might have done. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, sometimes all situations don't require chastising. They don't. I had to learn that myself. I'm still learning. And just because your children have went out there and did something wrong, they went out there and, might have had a couple of kids at a young age. Went out there, got locked up. Might have got shot. They might have done some things that you might be embarrassed as a parent, right? You might be embarrassed as a parent, but think about this. The same way that you went out there and did stuff, God forgave you. God didn't turn his back on you. You shouldn't turn your back on them. Sometimes we want to throw our hands up, rightfully so. We throw our hands up, I'm done with them. But when you throw your hands up, are you praying? You bringing them together to pray? Or you just throwing your hands up, I'm done with them? It's easy to say I'm done with them. I understand that. And sometimes you gotta let God, you gotta pray. You gotta let your hands off for them and just pray for them. I ain't letting them go, but Lord, I need you to wrap your arms and do what you need to do. Because they not listening right now. So while they not listening, Lord, watch over. Take care of them, Lord. I wasn't no good parent. Lord, take care of them. I ain't do what I need to do, Lord, but still take care of them. So I got this right here in my notes. We can't keep being mad at kids we raise. Instead, let's raise them again with love, wisdom, and patience. Because at the end of the day, they're not just a younger generation. They are our reflection, our legacy, and our future. Yes. So, listen, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you think that this could help someone, please share it and send it to them. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to hit me up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Real Men Talk Podcast. Also, TikTok, Real Men Talk Podcast. And then me, Stanley Nash Jr., Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Stanley Nash Jr. Like, comment, subscribe, send this to someone. And guess what? I'll see y'all next week. Peace.